Hey Canucks fans, the Vancouver Canucks were defeated 6-3 by the Minnesota Wild, for all intents and purposes, ending the Canucks' faint playoff hopes. Let's talk about what I liked, what I didn't like, and one other thing. And just before I start, don't forget, tonight I'll be streaming at 10 p.m. Not sure what kind of mood I will be in, not sure what kind of mood you will be in, but I hope that you'll join me at 10 p.m. tonight for my live stream. I moved it from last night to tonight. So here we go. Let's break down this 6-3 loss. I'm not going to go through all the goals. You guys can do that. You can watch highlights just as well as I can. But I want to talk about my reflections on this game. Now, I couldn't watch the whole game. As you can tell, I'm still at work. We were interviewing students today, but I was able to catch most of the second period, some of the first, and the last 10 minutes of the third. So I saw about half the game, and I've caught up on highlights before I started watching this. So what I like, let's talk about some good things. Well, I like the fight that the Canucks had in the second period. They went down 1-0. They quickly tied it up. They went down 2-1. They tied it up. And then they even took a one-goal lead in the second period, and led by Elias Pettersson. What can you say about him? After a horrible start to the season, he now has 31 goals on the season, going to eclipse his high mark of 66 points for a season. And again, that's after a really bad, not just bad 10, 15 games, probably a bad 20, 25 games. But to see him at 31 goals for the season, I think is outstanding. And Petey, you could tell he was a man on a mission tonight. And you just look at his stat line. He had 2 goals. He had 8 shots on goal. Actually, he didn't have any hits or blocks, but who cares? When you have 8 shots on goal, and when you score 2/3 of your team's goals, I think you had a great game, and he did. He certainly did indeed. One of the, a lot of the forwards were minuses. That happens on a 6-3 game, but he was also a dash. He was even when it comes to plus minus. But more importantly, 2 goals, 8 shots on net, looked dangerous all night. So I like PD's game. Connor Garland, his line mate, it would make sense that Connor Garland had 2 assists on the night. So I thought he had a pretty strong game, and he looked dangerous as well. And their line mate, Besser, as well, played okay. Played well. Matthew Highmore, I liked his goal that made it 2-2, and it was basically a minute or so. What is it? 2 minutes. That's the crazy thing about the second period. Fiala scores first, then Pettersson scores just 38 seconds later. Then Spurgeon scores, then Highmore scores 2 minutes after that. But of course, then PD scores, and then Zuccarello scores 2.5 minutes after that. So the second period was crazy. It was goal, and they come out of that period tied at 3 apiece. So yes, the Pettersson, Garland, Besser line was good. I like Matthew Heimer's goal. Showed a lot of skill in picking off a pass from the turnover from the Minnesota defenseman, and then putting it past Cam Talbot high. And I thought that was a really nice shot. On D, Travis Dermott, he was the only defenseman to get a point, and he was the only defenseman that was positive. He was a +2, which is pretty impressive when you lose 6-3, you lose by 3, yet you are a +2. That's pretty good. And there's a reason why, because all the other defensemen, 2 defensemen in particular, were taking dashes, and I'll talk about them in a second. So what did I like? I liked the Pettersson line. I liked Pettersson himself, and I thought that Travis Dermott had a good game. Also, Canucks were 58% on the faceoff circle, and they killed off all 3 Minnesota power plays. Now, one of them was very short-lived when Kaprizov took that double minor for that dangerous play on Jason Richardson. Glad he came back. But yeah, that was Brad Richardson, not Jason. I combined Brad Richardson and Jason Dixon on Brad Richardson. That was a little bit scary, but I'm glad that Richardson did indeed come back. And the Canucks, yes, like I said, killed off all 3 Minnesota power plays. Okay. What I didn't like, well, firstly, the injury scare. That was a very scary. I know it was accidental by Kaprizov, and Kaprizov is a very good player. Sure, you got to be responsible for your stick, but that was him just trying to get through the face-off circle. So I don't think there was anything intentional there. He got penalized as double minor. Too bad the Canucks couldn't capitalize. And yeah, it was very scary though to see that the heel of the stick basically catch Brad Richardson on the nose. I think that's why he was gushing so much blood. So I was happy to see Richardson come back in the game. Man, Ekman Larsson and Myers, they have had some pretty good games in the last little run for the Vancouver Canucks, but they were bad tonight. They were -3 apiece. And the first goal, the second goal, and definitely the third or fourth goal. Yeah, I think they were on the ice for the first 3 of the first 4 goals for Minnesota. And, whether it was a bad pinch here or a bad read there, Ekman-Larsson and Myers both struggled tonight. And oftentimes one of them was caught pinching or flat-footed. So then it was either 2-on-1 or 3-on-2 with a forward like Connor Garland trying to come back and trying to play defense. And when you're playing against a skilled team like that has Kaprizov and Zuccarello and Fiala and Hartman and guys like that, they can make you pay, and they did that tonight. So I thought it was a pretty tough night for Ekman-Larsson and Tyler Myers, both at -3. Also, I want to see more from JT Miller in a game like this, in a big game like this. He only had 2 shots on goal, only had 1 hit. He was a -3. Chase on his lineman was a -3, and Podkolzin was a -2. So maybe, I didn't match it up, but maybe they're on the ice for a lot of the same goals that Ekman-Larsson and Myers were, because they were also -3s. But overall, not a strong game from that line. So of our top 2 lines, only one of them played really well. And this was a night where I think you really miss having Horvat, Pearson, and Hoglander, 3 top 9 players. I think if only one of your top 2 lines is going, it would be nice if we had all 3 of those guys. So in essence, you'd have 3 strong scoring lines as opposed to only 2, even though Matthew Heimer on the 3rd line was one of the Canucks goal scorers. So yes, I thought it was a poor game by Miller, not a great game by Chason and Podkolzin, and then that meant we only had really one line scoring for us. I thought Demko was not great. He wasn't. I'm not blaming him for anything, but he could. He only has a save percentage of .839, 31 shots for Minnesota. One of them was an empty netter, so 31 shots. He allowed 5 goals, so 26 saves on those 31 shots. So a couple of them he was screened, a couple of them were bang bang plays, but usually throughout the season, Demko was finding ways to make those saves. And I just think the Canucks played a little bit too loose. You saw it a little bit against Ottawa, where they're trading them. Well, they're dominating actually against Ottawa, but they just wound up on the short end of the stick. And then I thought today they're trying to trade chances, and it was fun. It made it for a fun second period. But I don't think if they had Horvat, Hoglander, and Pearson, that's different. But I don't think they had the firepower to match what Minnesota could put out there, and we see it in the final score. Okay, one other thing, and it has to go with what I didn't like. This loss, for all intents and purposes, ends the Canucks' already brief and faint playoff hopes. And this is why. The Canucks now only have 4 games remaining, and they have 87 points. So even if they win all 4 of those games, the highest they can get to is 95, which would be the absolute low watermark for making the playoffs. If you're looking at the division, LA already has 92 points with 4 games remaining. They're playing right now, actually. So LA could have 94 points at the end of tonight if they beat Chicago with 3 games remaining, and then they'll hold the tiebreaker over the Canucks. So they'd only need 1 more point, basically, to shut the Canucks out. Vegas is tied with us in games played, 4 left, but then they're already 2 points up. So Vegas is 89 and we have 87. And that's not to mention the wild card. We're still 4 points back, but Dallas has 5 games remaining, and Nashville is 6 points up on us, and they have 5 games remaining. So any way you slice the math, the Canucks, firstly, they have to win all 4 of their games, which is not a guarantee. They still have Calgary, Seattle, LA, and Edmonton. So you can't say that they're going to win those 4 for sure. So even if they do, they get to 95, but that means LA only needs basically 3 wins in their next 3 points in their next 4 games, including the one they're playing right now as I speak. And that means Vegas only needs to have, the Vegas will probably only need 6 points in their remaining 4 games, but that's only presuming the Canucks win all 4. So the Canucks are still mathematically in the race, but their percentage chance of making it's probably going to drop to 1 or 2% because of this loss, coupled with the giving away a point against Ottawa on Tuesday. So we have to be very honest. Now we're talking about miracle status, i.e. the Canucks winning their last 4 games of the year, and then teams like Vegas and LA faltering. So that's where we're at right now, Canucks fans. I'm not frustrated. I'm disappointed for the team. I'm mature enough to realize where we've come since Bruce Boudreau took over the team. since he took over the team from Travis Green, the Canucks have gone 30, 14, and 8. 30, 14, and 8 in the 52, 30, 16 and 8. So 30, 16 and 8. Does that add up? No. You know what they've done? Sorry, guys. I'm just doing this in my head. They're 30, 14, and 9. That makes sense. 30, 14, and 9 in the 53 games. So 30, 14, and 9, that's still 16 games over 500. That's very impressive. That's a 98-point pace if it's from the very start of the season. Problem is, Boudreau took over 25 games in when the Canucks were 8, 15, and 2. So I'm not upset. I'm not frustrated. I'm disappointed for the guys, for the team, because there's a brief glimmer of hope that the Canucks would put together a miraculous run. And they started off by winning 6 straight, but they lost to Ottawa, then they lose to Minnesota. And there's no shame in losing Minnesota, a 105-point team, but now we know why. So Canucks fans, I want to let you know how you're feeling in the comments about the game. Tell me what you liked, tell me what you didn't like, and tell me one other thing. And how are you feeling? Be honest, how are you feeling right now that the Canucks playoff chances have basically been completely snuffed out, so to speak. And don't forget to join me tonight at 10 p.m., just in a couple hours, for my live stream. We'll be talking more about this game, talking more about this season. I want to give a shout out to my sponsors, Perform and Transform, personal training and weight loss. Sign up now for a free 7-day trial. Use the link in my video descriptions. And Advanced City Experts Real Estate Group. Contact Jason Lim and his team for all of your real estate needs. To legendary Lucas Gates, legendary Justin Credible, legendary Andrew Chang, thank you. And to Hall of Fame members, Jens95, Simalexander, Chris Seifert, Adam Broomfield, Shannon Hollingworth, Hsmfangirl Gaming, smoovegroove, and Carol Bovelander. Thank you for your support as always. And thanks to the support of all members of all levels. You're listed in my video descriptions. If you want to become a member of the CCC Crew, press the join button underneath this or my videos on the memberships tab on my YouTube channel. Subscribe if you'd like to, like this video if you'd like to, become a member or upgrade if you'd like to, and leave a comment down below if you'd like to. Tell me what you like, tell me what you didn't like, tell me one other thing, and tell me how you're feeling now that the Canucks playoff chances are basically next to none. 10 p.m. tonight. Hope you join me on my live stream. Stay safe, stay healthy, take care of yourselves, and take care of each other. Have a great night. God bless, and I'll see you at 10 p.m. Go Canucks go.